And now, a thought from Mann. I feel like there's still sort of a stigma about cartoons. I often think that people still believe it's supposed to be meant for kids, and I just kind of disagree that that's even a thing anymore, because ultimately a lot of cartoons are just very enjoyable or very endearing that a lot of adults just find themselves watching them. Most creators end up creating their cartoons and shows mainly because they just want to make these shows. They don't really care who's watching it, they just want to create. They don't really think, well, I gotta make sure this is okay for kids. It's more like, I just make this, and the people who run the show or basically finance it say, that's okay for kids. They most of the time it's just for themselves because they really love these characters or stories that they've written or drawn. Ultimately, they just really love what they do, that they don't really mind that kids watch it or adults watch it. Their thing is, I just want people to enjoy what I've created, whether they be older or younger.
We just write to make ourselves laugh, and luckily that's other people laugh at the same things that we do.
We're making it for ourselves. Like everybody on the show, we're like a fan of the show, and we just like trying to make each other laugh.
When you write what you think is funny or interesting, someone out there is bound to feel the same.
We never really made the show for kids. We always just made it for us.
But you never know whether it's going to hit or not. But we just trusted our own instinct and made the kind of movies we wanted to see.
Why write for children?
I don't write for children.
You don't?
No, I write. And somebody says, that's for children.
Most of these cartoon creators realize that they need to focus on telling a good story and having good characters rather than focusing on making sure it's popular. Being able to just focus on making good quality content is better because more people would flock to it. They most of the time know that trying to take advantage of a certain fad that's going on is just bad because it mainly will be forgotten. It's just going to be a product of its time. Like they say, fad is just a letter E away from fade. And that's ultimately what a lot of pop culture does. It fades. Most of the time they focus on trying to make something timeless. Like Avatar is something generations from now can still enjoy. It's something that no matter what you do, you're still going to come back to it because these are such great and endearing characters. And the same thing can be said for basically Charlie Brown. Every Christmas, just about every adult or kid comes in just to watch the Charlie Brown Christmas special. It's something that holds to each generation. It's been around for basically 60 or 50 years and people still tune in. It just goes to show that good story and good characters is ultimately the main thing you need. Those are just the main ingredients that you need to be able to make such quality content. A lot of cartoons that you watched as a kid definitely hold up even when you watch it as an adult. Animaniacs is a great example with all the humor that they have in it that was just a little too adult for a kid to get. But that's just the thing about it. When you watch it as an adult, you appreciate it even more that it can speak to you on a level that you understand as an adult.
I am Ludwig van Beethoven, world famous composer and pianist.
You're a what?
A pianist.
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
The stockings were hung so our names clearly showed.
In hopes this old Santa would leave a big load.
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
I found prints.
No, fingerprints.
I don't think so.
You had other shows that had a very different sense of maturity, like Hey Arnold with their character Helga, who's basically neglected as a child by her parents because her parents always focus on her older sister and don't really focus on her. Hell, there's one time when she had to walk to her first day of preschool by herself in the rain. Looking back at that, you're just like, wow, I didn't think her life was that harsh. As a kid, you just thought, oh, it's just some neglectful parents, I guess. But as an adult, you're just thinking, holy crap, I feel so sorry for Helga. This is awful. These cartoons were just able to connect with both kids and adults at such different levels. It was amazing how they did that. It was able to hold the attention of a child while engaging their minds and be able to grasp an adult with such endearing character depth. And that was just an amazing thing about these cartoons.
You said that no one at home notices that you exist.
And?
Well, I think that's very sad, Helga. Everyone needs to be noticed. Otherwise, life would be terribly lonely.
You got that right.
Your mom doesn't notice you?
My mom? My mom wouldn't notice me if I was an alien pod person chanting Hare Krishna and spitting nickels.
A lot of modern day cartoons manage to get more adult fans than they do kids, mainly because they manage to have more adult themes. Like Adventure Time basically has this one sequence where Finn and Flame Princess are broken up because Finn manipulated her into doing his bidding, and she just didn't like that. But then later on down the line, he eventually realizes his mistake and decides to just apologize in the most genuine way possible.
Is something wrong with your coals?
No, they're fine. It's just... When we broke up, I said sorry, but I didn't fully understand exactly what I did wrong. I get it now. I shouldn't have manipulated you. That was a really, really messed up thing to do, and I'm truly sorry.
You've grown up a lot, man. I forgive you.
Awesome.
And you have Steven Universe, which has one episode that deals with the idea of an abusive relationship.
Let's be Malachite again.
Why would you want that?
I was wrong about fusion. You made me understand. Malachite was bigger and stronger than both of us. We could fly.
Lapis, don't listen to her.
Stay out of this.
I was terrible to you. I liked taking everything out on you. I needed to. I hated you. It was bad.
It'll be better this time. I've changed. You've changed me.
And most of the show itself is already dealing with some mature themes like growing up or having to take on more responsibility or having to deal with certain harshness of reality.
You should have shattered me back then. At least if I were in pieces, I wouldn't have to know how little I mattered to you. You didn't even tell him. You bubbled me away and didn't ever tell your friends. My friends.
I'm going to tell them. I'm gonna tell them everything.
Then you really are better than her.
You even have a show like Over the Garden Wall, which way more adults definitely watch than kids. Shows like these are just small examples, but a lot of the time you just see more and more of this happening where they just write very endearing stuff with a lot of mature themes that a lot of adults can just cling to. Some modern day cartoons are just something that both kids and adults themselves just watch at the same time. Phineas and Ferb is just a prime example of this. It's something that both kids and adults just sit down and watch because it's just so enjoyable. A lot of the wacky, crazy situations are there for the kids, but the way the characters are, that's more something adults find funny, or how clever and witty the dialogue is, or how clever the writing is. It's just a show that clicks on every level that it can. It's basically on the level of, say, Looney Tunes, something both kids and adults can like. It was something that had a lot of crazy, cartoonish antics in it that kids could enjoy, but the way they did it was something adults could enjoy. You could kind of consider it OG because it's something that managed to originate the idea of clicking with both kids and adults on any type of level. And that's just something amazing about cartoons.
It's true, Doc. I'm a rabbit, all right. Would you like to shoot me now or wait till you get home? Shoot him now! Shoot him now! You keep out of this. He doesn't have to shoot you now. He does so have to shoot me now. I command that you shoot me now.
Cartoons are ultimately just another form of media that can click to both kids and adults. It's something that's meant to be there for you to enjoy, whether you be an adult or a child. Creators don't usually make these things because they just want kids to watch it. They mainly make it so anybody can sit down and watch this. It doesn't matter if it has cursing, sex, or violence. As long as you have great characters, great stories, and situations going on, people will flock to it. The stigma that the idea that cartoons are just for kids, it's basically past at this point. Cartoons have become so much more endearing, use way more mature themes. They know basically we don't talk down to the audience. That's just not the best way to get people to pay attention to it. Cartoons are mainly just another form of visual media. It doesn't really matter whether it's meant for kids or not. It's meant to be something entertaining. It's meant to grasp you, whether you're old or young. You mainly just need to focus on grasping an audience. And That's just something so great about a lot of these cartoons, that they can grasp an audience, whether they be kid or adult. But that's just a thought.